What up, everybody? Hope everybody out there is having a wonderful day. I am Joe,
I'm Lindsay.
and this is Lejjnd from the Tabletop. So, first off, we want to apologize for the fact that we have not been shooting videos here recently. There's just been a lot of chaos going on, holidays, other family problems, everything, personal issues. So,
Sicknesses.
yeah, we are sorry for the delay on this video, but we are back.
I know I sound a little bit mono, still dealing with it, but getting through it. But a lot has been happening, unfortunately, all out of our control, but doing the best we can.
Yeah. But anyway, you guys don't want to hear about that crap. So, what we're here to talk about is something we've been saying we were going to do next, which is our topic on our first class in D&D 5th edition, which is the Wizard.
Dum, dum, dum.
So, at one point we did put a poll on our Facebook page, and everybody hit Wizard, like said, screw the Fighter, which is fine, because we really, I think, would prefer to do the Wizard first off, because we do know some people out there do need some help with a Wizard. And that's what we're going to discuss today. So, start off, we'll talk about what a Wizard is. Pretty much an arcane scholar. Somebody who, for one reason or another, spends their life studying and training in magic and how to cast spells and understand magic.
Can be a lengthy process. Most definitely a lengthy process, but lower levels versus higher levels, it's all a process of creating the character, what paths you choose. I have to apologize, I've not had time to really upgrade myself. This is actually, to be honest, a character class I have not played yet in the system. So, for you, and as for I, it's kind of a learning process for both of us. So let's work together.
So, like I said, first off, a wizard is somebody who will spend their life, and as an adventurer, you are, whatever your background may be, for whatever reason you're doing it, you're going through trying to teach yourself what spells are, how magic works, and how to cast these spells. Because this is your main trait. This is your skill. This is what you bring to the table. The ability to cast spells and know them quite well.
Most of your time is delved into this factor, which explains other reasonings for lack of stuff. But we'll get to that momentarily.
Yeah, so with a wizard, most of what you're going to be doing, again, is learning spells. To do all this, I should say, for this reason, intelligence really is your most needed attribute. So when you roll your stats, your biggest ability score is going to be intelligence. That's what you're going to need. That is your spell casting modifier. That's what you use, as well as the fact that your character is going to want to be able to understand magic, using certain skill checks to do that, meaning you're going to have a higher intelligence to have a better chance at succeeding in these areas, because this is a wizard's purpose. So, start off, when you start a level 1 wizard, you are going to start off with 6 hit points, plus your constitution modifier. And again, we said your main ability score is going to be your intelligence. Another good one to focus on after that would be probably your constitution or your dexterity. So that way you can hopefully make your wizard able to last a little longer or not get hit as much. But wisdom as well is a good one.
Which would be one I would definitely say as a recommendation. But it depends on how you play your character.
Now, one of the reasons wisdom might be a good idea is because your saving throws as a wizard, you get intelligence and you get wisdom. So if you can beef both of those up, and in the game of Dungeons and Dragons, you tend to make a lot of wisdom saving throws when you're facing other magic users and stuff. I think, to me, it feels like either wisdom or dexterity are the two most used saving throws in the game. So, wisdom and dexterity probably really two good skills to focus your next highest
For
ability
me,
score in?
if I had to give someone a recommendation, intelligence, wisdom, then constitution be the route I would follow if I was making a character. Others might mix those last two back and forth. It's depending on how you want to play your character.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're wanting to be into the thick of the fun and all that, constitution may be your point. It's just however you see the point of. Me personally, I'm not going to be in the foray. Well, that's what the other people's job's for. I'm back here.
So that's really a good point about a wizard. So, something you probably should understand, and I mean, you guys can play it however you guys want. It's your game. Do what you want. But a wizard tends to be a bit more squishy and tends to be in the background of the fight. Tries not to be up front in the main thick of the combat.
Reasoning because of that is, some people would say poor choices in weapon selection, but that's due to your training of magic. You're extensively into it, so your weapons training
Is not all that extent. For instance, you're
And-
only given a few proficiencies in weapons when you create your character. Some of them being a quarterstaff, which makes sense because most wizards will carry around a wand or a staff of some sort. Others being like darts and daggers. You know, items that are not all that martial in training as compared to some others. You know,
But as a surprising note that I'm learning right now, also add to that point, light crossbows,
yeah.
which that really is a incentive factor much more than what I am familiar with. Light crossbows,
They can save your hide.
actually, that really makes a better point of a use with the wizard to me. If I was going that way, yeah. Distance weapons,
Yeah. Well, again, daggers, darts, and such, you know. Something you can throw and be away from people while doing it.
and
Or fire.
and these particularly would be based off of as typical character strength or dexterity. Dexterity be the way you want to go.
Yeah.
So there you back to the character development again, going intelligence, constitution, dexterity,
Yeah.
wisdom. That's where
Well, see, personally, one reason I would pick the dexterity is for that fact. If you're using something like a light crossbow or throwing a dagger, you're using your dexterity to make your modifier, you know, your attack rolls and everything, as well as your defense. The less you can get hit, the less damage they can take from you. You know what I mean?
oh yeah, just basically just
It's all it's all personal preference on how you want to create your character, as is everything that we discuss here. But getting to the next point. So, after picking your ability scores and understanding that you have no armor proficiencies, a limited amount of weapons, you know your saving throws. Next thing you're going to be doing is picking skills. Now, with a wizard, when you create a wizard at level 1, you get to pick 2 skills from the list it provides, which I know off the top of my head is Arcana, History, Insight, Investigation, Religion,
and medicine.
and Medicine. And so yeah, personally, I would believe that Arcana is the best skill check for a wizard to learn, because again, as a wizard, your purpose in the game is to know about magic, to know what's going on with it, how it works. That's your role. That's what you do.
Even in the midst of battle, you see another wizard, you can use that Arcana check to actually possibly understand what he's casting.
Yeah, things like that.
That
And
could be-
just, you know, different things. There's a lot of things in the game where you
Yeah.
can make Arcana checks, and having
Very
a wizard
much.
know that gives you guys a little bit of an edge. Now, another one for me that I personally would pick would be probably Insight, so you are able to grasp when people are trying to BS you.
Could be a point. Could be a point. If I had a choice of choosing, see, I have a hard time between history and investigation.
And both of them are really good to choose,
If
especially since both of those are based off of your intelligence score.
very much, history could apply to the area in which you have work in. could have its points. Investigation has a great point. I find it just about as strong skills as insight.
And again, like later on down the road while you're creating your character, you can work with your DM on getting a background, which may bolster some skills you need. But we'll get back to the wizards. So, at level 1, one big focus. You're going to have at least 6 health points, but one big focus at level 1, which going through your entire leveling as a wizard, the entire time you're playing it, you're going to want to understand and know how to use your cantrips. Now, you start out with 3 as at level 1. You're going to want to pick one that you know you can use to damage when you have no spell slots left, but you might want to pick a couple others to help you do little things here and there. Message, Mage Hand, Prestidigitation, Thaumaturgy, all depending on what you feel is going to make most sense for your character. But you definitely want to get one in there that will allow you to do some damage when needed in combat.
If that's the way you feel to make the character. See, I also look at a factor of there will be times where you can't find that big cash money, the rewards or jobs, and maybe your DM has a different specific view of the world. Maybe he hits it in different ways. Maybe you might end up working in a seamstress shop doing mending. Any way you can think of to make money, I think of in some things in abstract ways like that. You just never know the applications where you can put stuff up.
Oh, yeah. Well, like I said, you might want to go through and based on whatever you want to do, pick what's best for you. I advise always making sure you have at least one that will help you survive if needed. As far as being able to defend yourself. But there are many other combinations of things you might want to get, and we will do a few videos about a lot of cantrips and stuff, and our different opinions on those here after a while. But so starting at level 1, you get 3 cantrips. Pick your cantrips wisely, and you gain 2 spell slots at first level.
Nice.
Well, I should say for 2 level 1 spell slots would make more sense to state. So, again, depending on what kind of wizard you want to be, that's all on you. And you don't have a lot of time to figure it out because at level 2 is when you gain your arcane tradition.
So at level 1 you'll get to kind of play around and see as your character develops what direction you're heading. What particular sphere of magic pulls you in.
Yeah.
Which you have a broad range if you've read through your spell list.
Yeah. You have an extensive spell list as a wizard. Some of the most powerful spells in the book are strict to wizards. And that's because that's your job. You cast powerful spells after studying them for such a long time and gaining the knowledge of the arcane arts.
But at second level, as we've stated, arcane tradition.
So at this point, you will be allowed to pick a school that you really develop in, whether it be necromancy, transmutation, abjuration, evocation, and others. You focus more in gaining spells of this nature. So when you go to learn spells, you will pay half the gold. They will cost half as much and take half as long to copy into your spell book and to learn them. Okay, and just to make it clear, for a wizard, when you're learning spells, as you level up and you begin to learn spells, it's important to note, and I mean, every DM can run it different, but especially the way it's explained in the book. To learn new spells as a wizard, you are required to find a copy of that spell, whether in a scroll, tome, book, whatever, and spend the gold to purchase the paper, the ink, and spend the time to learn and study and copy down the spell to your spell book. And that's why at second level, when you get the arcane tradition feat, when you take, let's say you take the aberration class, right? So any spells you learn at aberration or of aberration, it requires you half the gold for the required stuff. So it means you're able to use possibly a little bit lower grade of paper or ink, and it takes you half the time to copy it down and study
and learn.
Yeah, the spell.
And as a personal choice, as you chose, that's my favorite school.
Yeah.
Good offense is a good defense.
Yeah, yeah. Aberration is a neat one. I mean, all of them have their perks. All of them have some disadvantages.
Very much.
You know what I mean? Like, illusionist, like as learning illusions, choosing the school of illusions, you gain a lot of benefits in a lot of ways. You can do a lot of cool things, but it also, if you choose nothing but those, it can leave you open to some problems.
It does have drawbacks, each of them. Depends on how you play and what you create.
Yeah.
It's all up to you, and that's the hard part. We can give you some points that we choose, which you may like, and you'd be like, why would somebody even go that route?
But everybody has their own personal preference, and that's what a lot of these videos are going to be about, builds and everything in classes. Is we'll actually probably do some full build videos where we'll actually roll out and create characters explaining how they work and everything for you guys. This is just kind of going over the class, and actually we will do a separate video after this one at some point going into all of the subclasses, i.e. the different arcane traditions you can pick as a wizard and what their benefits and their faults are.
What we think are benefits, pros and cons.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which 5th edition has a little bit of variance, but actually not too badly. Not too badly.
And again, a lot of this is about the way your DM runs everything. So as a wizard, certain spells require things of, sonomic, verbal, or component. Now, your DM may not be such a stickler on the component parts, whereas other DMs could be, well, if you don't have that component, you cannot cast that spell, period. Show me on your inventory list where you have all your requirements, your components listed out, and how many you have of what.
And certain spells take either less of one or none of one.
Yeah.
I mean,
some are just verbal, some are just sonomic, some are just component. It all depends on the spell, and then we can get into ritual spells, which we will also do in another video, because ritual casting, concentration, all that stuff, we need to take a little more time to do that. And this is just about the wizard. So again, to kind of sum up everything about the wizard, you are a studier of the arcane arts. You go around the world traveling as an adventurer, learning and studying tomes, scrolls, and finding items, so that way you can advance your knowledge in the arcane arts.
That could be one point of traveling, or you could just actually be a scholar and teach in a college.
Could.
And teach others and learn magics that way. It's
very, again,
diverse.
With D&D, you can do whatever you want. It's your character, talk with your DM, figure out what you guys want to do. But all in all, the wizard, you can play them never having played before. I personally think it's going to be a little tough for a first-time player. If you've never played D&D before, trying to be a wizard may be a little tough.
It could be challenging.
But it could also benefit in teaching you a lot about the game and how a lot of things work. Because though you're not doing a lot of traditional combat attacks, which is not really true, depending on your spells and cantrips, you may have to do a lot of attack rolls. But at the same time, you're going to understand when you're playing a wizard, you're going to understand DC saving throws, skill checks, and things like that a lot more, because your character is going to be very involved in doing certain skill checks and requiring that other people, maybe even yourself, have to make saving throws based on whatever you're casting.
As just a point, one of the first characters I've drawn up for 5th edition is actually strongly based as a illusionist.
Yeah, an illusion wizard. It's actually really fun playing with that character too.
And actually with that character, no worries, I have actually been in the action, fighting, up in the forefront, it's still casting spells. Take that as a thought.
So yeah, it all depends on your personal preference. But with that being said, let us know in the comments what you guys think of a wizard, if this video was helpful, if there's anything else based on the wizard you would like us to go over, maybe get a little more in depth with and chat with you guys a little more about. Also, let us know what classes you would like us to do next. I know somebody on there has talked about a paladin, stating that they think that might have used to be your favorite class.
It's a tough one depending on your world.
Yeah, could be. Very much so.
Very much.
But yeah, definitely let us know what you guys thought of the video. Let us know other classes you want to know about. Let us know what you would like us to delve into with the subclasses or arcane traditions of the wizard. And our next video that we do about the wizard will be based on the arcane traditions out of the handbook. In a separate video after that, we will get into new additions from things like Xanathar and possibly Unearthed Arcana, things like that. If you guys enjoyed the video, please give us a like. It would help us out a great deal. If you're enjoying anything from us, please tap that subscribe button. It would help us out as well. And make sure to tap the notification bell so you can stay up to date with everything we're dropping at Legend from the Tabletop. You can check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/Legend Unlimited.
And if you enjoyed it, please share it with friends.
Yeah, let people know. Again, if you guys think that these videos help you guys, let us know and maybe share them with some friends and let them know about the channel. That would help us out a great deal. Until next time, guys, I am Joe.
I'm Lindsay.
This is Legend from the Tabletop. Have yourselves a wonderful day.
Thank you for taking time to watch us. Roll hard.